Hi, this is Alex Skolnick of Testament and the Alex Skolnick Trio. You're watching Burnt Offerings.
I'm Cecil of CJLO's Burnt Offerings, and today we are with Alex Skolnick. Alex, pleasure to meet you. It's fantastic meeting you here and having this opportunity to interview you.
Oh, my pleasure. It's good to be here.
I understand that you've been with Testament for, I guess, the early part of your career. How was that experience for you, if you were to just summarize it for me?
Well, it was definitely a learning experience, growth experience. I joined the band when I was 16 years old. It's been great. I think, being in Testament at such a young age sort of, provided my foundation for learning. That's where I just learned everything: how to be on the road, how to work in the studio, and the entire process.
And I understand that you've also done a fair bit of guest appearances with other performers. But what I would like to know, first of all, is how you got into Testament. What started that journey for you?
Well, I started playing guitar when I was 10 years old. And, I was a fan of the group Kiss and some 50s rock. And then somewhere along the way I heard Ozzy and the guitar playing of the late Randy Rhoads, which had a big impact on me. And also the early Van Halen albums. So that Van Halen and Ozzy made me want to play lead guitar. And there was a really good teacher where I lived, Berkeley, California. And this teacher would go on to be very well known. His name was Joe Satriani. I started studying with him. And that inspired me to become more focused and more disciplined. And it was during that time that I heard about this band that needed a guitar player. That band would become Testament.
And how did you get to know these people? And you did just say that they were recruiting more or less, but how did you meet them? How was the recruitment process? How did the acceptance work out and your relationship develop with this band?
Let's see, I was, again, I was very young. I was 16, but I just started going to local metal shows. The band Exodus, who Metallica had actually gotten their guitar player from. And that band was mostly from Berkeley, either in Berkeley or at the Berkeley area. And they played a lot, so I would go to Exodus shows. And I hadn't seen Legacy. Legacy would later become Testament, but I had heard about it. They had opened up for one of the Slayer shows. They'd opened up for one of the Exodus shows. So friends at school that had gone to the show started telling me about it. We saw this band. They were really heavy, really good band. We think they're going to be, like the next in line. As one of the band. I said, I'll have to see this band. And then one of my friends at school started working with them a lot, and I actually started managing them. And he told me that one of the guitar players left the band. He thinks I should try out. That was how it started. But we were coming from very different places because all those guys were several years older than I was. They were all from the suburbs. And I was from Berkeley. It's almost like if I'm from, Brooklyn or Queens, and they're from New Jersey or Long Island.
Okay.
Not that far away, but still, a different area. So, it all happened really fast. It was, I started playing with these guys. And, the next thing you know, we had this offer to do an album and see how things went. And within 2 years, I was on tour.
But you said they're all a fair bit older than you. So did the age discrepancy cause any, I guess, problems in your interactions with the band?
Well, initially, it was hard to communicate. I was very shy, and I couldn't even talk to people at my school, let alone these kind of scary looking guys from this band. So when I would have ideas, I was very slow, and it was very hard for me to get my ideas across. And I think when I ended up leaving, 7 years later, I think part of the problem was we'd never gotten out of that pattern. I was always the kid, and I felt like my ideas weren't taken seriously enough, and it was hard for me to communicate them. But when I came back after many years in the mid-2000s, things were very different. And at that point, I had all this experience with other bands. I was doing well with my jazz career, and I was playing with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I'd really learned how to get ideas across and function. So I think it functions very different now than it used to.
So, what inspired your decision to leave Testament for that period of time that you did?
Well, I felt like I'd never really had the chance to develop into an overall musician. I've toured with world music artists. One of the most recent was Rodrigo Gabriela, who was very famous. I've performed with a lot of lesser-known people doing many different kinds of music. But during that period of time, all I could do was play Testament music. It was either Testament music or, the UFO, Van Halen, Ozzy stuff that I grew up on, which is great stuff. I just felt really limited. My tastes weren't just that music. I wanted to be able to play the music I listened to, and I liked so many kinds of music. So I just, I think I needed that time just to explore and just to develop as good as I could be. And and even today, now that I'm playing metal again, I'm not just playing. I'm actually involved in a lot of different styles of music. Metal is one of them, but I think I'm able to do it better now because I had that time to develop.
So, would it be safe to say that across all of this, you have a wide taste of music, you have a big passion for music, but you felt you did not have the experience at that time?
It was very radical for me to do what I did. Even while I was in the band, I started coming up with these different ways of approaching the lead guitar, and just being an advanced lead guitar. Thrash metal was not known for advanced lead guitar. With all due respect to my friends in bands like Slayer and Motorhead, it just was never about that. Those types of bands never had the guys like the Randy Rhoads and the Van Halens, and
the Stevie Ray Vaughns.
Yeah, and I really want to be like that type of player, that caliber player.
So just allow me to interject if that's all right. I just want to know, is that desire what inspired you to create your trio?
But the trio really, it just had a special energy, a special sound to it. And let's face it, logistically, it's a lot easier to work with two other players than more. And we just sort of developed a common dialogue, I think, with our playing. It developed a sound, so I chose to keep it together.
Because we touched on your trio, are you very familiar with the Montreal Jazz Festival that we have regularly?
I am, yeah.
Have you ever seen it yourself?
I haven't seen it. I would love to see it.
You should most definitely make plans. I mean, there's obviously a lot of talented performers that come here. I mean, you could probably even look into performing at the Jazz Festival.
I've had some conversations about it.
Well, then I guess I'm a little bit behind on that.
Yeah, and I would love it. It may happen. know,
I'm pretty sure you'll have a very positive turnout, as a matter of fact.
I think so too. I think it would be good. I think, you know, maybe the festival has to be ready for us, or we've had to be ready. But I think we are ready, especially with this new album. This album, Veritas, is getting the best reviews I've ever gotten for any project, like hands down. And I think in Montreal, there just seems to be more of an appreciation and an acceptance that somebody can be in a metal band and do music that is artistic and intelligent.
We are a very colorful city here, so we appreciate anyone that brings a wide array of talent to Montreal. So I would love to see this.